That's a little bit of 섬집 아기 by DENIS SUNGHO featuring Coast 82. And I am super excited to be joined in the studio by DENIS SUNGHO Janssen himself.
My pleasure, thank you.
Hello, Denis.
Hello, how have you been?
I'm very good and very happy to meet you and have you in the studio. Let me introduce you just a little bit to our listeners. He is, of course, a world-renowned classical guitarist, recognized for his ensemble playing as well as his interpretation and promotion of the modern classical guitar repertoire, including contemporary Korean music. He's performed in major concert halls around the world, along with Korean artists like Cho Soo-mi, Kim Bum-soo, and In Sun-hee. A Belgian national, adopted from South Korea at birth, his dual identity permeates his music and allows him to express himself through both cultures as guitarist, composer, and producer. So once again, Denis, I'm very, very happy to have you in the studio. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks to you. My pleasure, really.
All right, so let's begin. The pandemic, of course, I guess we have to catch up with how you've been doing over the past year and a half. I know that it's put kind of a pause on the activity of most musicians, of course. How have you been spending the past year and a half?
Honestly, I should say I wasn't so bad because my daughter was born 2 years ago.
Oh, very busy time then.
In a very busy time. And I think it's good time because, as you know, the concert has been cancelled and we spend a lot of time together.
Right.
And she inspired me, I composed and everything. So I wasn't that bad. I feel a little bit bad for my colleagues who were sad, but me, I was happy.
It's a great silver lining. I mean, you were able to bond with your daughter. I believe her name is Sua, is that right?
Exactly.
Gorgeous girl, by the way. I saw some photos on social media. So congratulations on your daughter as well.
Thank you very much.
But you must miss sometimes the performing at concert halls. And you have performed at some of the best ones, the most popular ones around the world. You made your debut at Carnegie Hall, no less, at 2005.
Yes.
That's the dream for most classical musicians. And you've performed basically all over the world. I know that you were having plans for concerts last year as well. I imagine those had to be put on hold. So you were also wanting to perform with some of the Korean musicians that you met here.
Yes, yes.
So let's talk about your connection now with Korea. Obviously, you were born here and then you were adopted to Belgium, the countryside, I believe. When did you make the move back to Korea?
Mostly 10 years ago, around 10 years ago,
okay.
And I was back and forth all the time. And that's all actually, because I loved Korea, for some reason I wanted to come back here and find some roots eventually.
Do you remember the first time that you came? So 10 years ago, that was your first time to Korea, or had you made trips before?
13 years ago, I was invited by the government because luckily I was the first Asian of a Korean person to play at Carnegie Hall as a guitarist. So they invited me. And the first 2 weeks I came back in my life was 13 or 14 years ago.
Okay.
I got totally, how can I say, mixed, matched up of emotions.
I can imagine.
Everything, yeah.
You were in your, 20s or 30s?
30s
then?
I'm an old guy.
You don't look old at all. You're still young anyways compared to me. Mixed bag of emotions. I mean, we've talked about this with another guest who's also an adoptee, but it's strange, but at the same time, it feels very familiar because you're surrounded by people who look like you for the first time. Our guest from last week, she grew up in the countryside in Denmark, and she grew up with no Asians or Koreans around her. But coming to Korea, it was just felt weird because now you're surrounded by people who look like you in this kind of an alien place. Did you feel that too? A sense of foreignness, but also familiarity as well?
Definitely. Yeah. It was the same feeling.
Yeah.
But I think this feeling after the first impression is like coming back home.
Right.
But when you establish yourself, you begin to feel as a foreigner again.
True.
And I think it's not that bad because at the end, as an artist, you need to create your own home, your own identity.
Of course.
So it pushes a boundary to be stronger and more creative, to create your own territory, which will never be neither Belgium, neither Korea.
Right. So how has it changed your music then? I mean, obviously, it's made a huge impact on you as a person. You have a family now, a beautiful wife and daughter. What about affecting your music? How has it affected that?
Everything, if you're a good musician, I'm not sure I'm not good, but if you're an involved musician, I think what you live it goes to your life, to the music too. So definitely at the beginning I was more fragile. It's hard to come back to Korea. So my play was very fragile. there was some anger. So my play was more angry, and after it was more peaceful. And after now, I think I began to be finally an accomplished person with my family and my journey, and my music is more myself too.
Yeah, more rounded. I remember a couple of years ago you had Bright as well. That was kind of a theme of your album and concert as well. Now it's Island, of course. We're going to be talking about that in just a bit. But you had a very special experience for 2018, and we kind of shared that connection, I guess, with Pyeongchang. You were the artistic director. It must have been a huge honor, a big responsibility as well. Do you know why you were chosen for this role? I mean, Korea does have a lot of very accomplished musicians.
I think I was, first of all, I was not the director for everything. I was director for the Olympic Committee exclusive event. So only for the Queen and the Kings and the President.
Oh, only for them, okay.
No, but I mean, it was a small things. And I honestly, not to be humble, but they chose me because I speak French. And the Olympic Committee is from Switzerland.
Of course.
So for them, it was very easy to talk with me. And I think they believed I speak well Korean, which I don't, but I never showed that. No, I can say.
Speak to me in French, yes.
C'est vrai, j'avais oublié de parler français. On m'avait dit que vous parlez français, d'accord. So anyway, so this is why I think they chose me, and also I have a profile, so it was perfect, I think.
But how did that make you feel? I mean, as part of the bidding campaign, and I remember we also worked with an American adoptee, and I think it brought back so many emotions for him to be part of this huge national sort of event, just winning the bid, to be part of that. How did that feel for you?
Same, totally same. I was proud, and I should say I'm saying, okay, man, I am in the history in a way.
Felt accepted or kind of welcomed by the Korean people in a way?
No, because at the end I know I will never be.
Okay.
But it's okay. I deal with that, and but I was happy to be part of the history of Korea in my very humble level.
Very good. Well, I think we need to get to your music, actually, and especially the album that you managed to put out in the midst of all this pandemic and also helping to raise your child, of course. So we're going to actually hear you perform. Can you give us a short introduction of what you'll be performing for us?
Sure. I will play some extract, some highlight of Island, the title. Island because, as I mentioned, I will never be accepted anywhere, so I created my own territory. And I think not only when you're adopted, but everybody has his own world.
Of course.
And I think being stronger is to create our own world. So I create my own world. I call that Island. And after Tango on Sky, because it's a funny piece and it's more like Ole style.
What does Tango on Sky mean?
Sky is mean fake leather.
Fake leather?
Fake leather.
SKAI, okay.
Right. The sky is fake leather.
Okay.
So it's a fake tango.
Sounds very interesting. All right, so we'll be hearing those tunes back to back. This is once again DENIS SUNGHO with Island and Tango on Sky, whenever you're ready. So DENIS SUNGHO, just doing a little bit of tuning. Okay, if you're ready.
Yep.
All right. That was amazing. Thank you very much, Denis. 5580, our listener saying amazing in all caps. Daniel Che joining us through YouTube saying so sweet morning. 7189 saying the sound is so warm. It's perfect for this morning along with my cup of joe. Che Hisuk also saying it's perfect for a rainy day. Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks to you.
You know what? The first song, Island, it kind of, made me feel it was perfect for this kind of weather. You want to be on an island, but at the same time, like you say, the other kind of connotations or meanings of island, there's a certain sadness. There's a beauty, a sweetness, but a bit of sadness that kind of brought a tear to my eye.
Yes. When I in my music, in my arrangement, I say there is always a small pain, small nostalgia. But I used to love grand pain like Rachmaninoff, but I don't like that anymore. I like to be more humble and more like beautiful pain. It's more touching in a way.
Right.
Maybe it's more Asian also, because Russian and in Western Europe, they scream their pain. In Korea too, but you do it alone.
Sometimes we do it out loud, but we do scream a lot inside as well.
Exactly. So maybe I become to be more like one color, more danse quoi things.
I think also Island is a perfect sort of theme or maybe title for an album that comes out during the pandemic when all of us were we were really literally in our own islands. We had to stay socially sort of distanced from one another. We had to spend a lot of time with ourselves and kind of get in touch with ourselves and face ourselves as well. So I think that was also a really fitting kind of album, but it must have been difficult to come out with it during the pandemic. What inspired you to do it amidst all of this?
I thought a lot because, I try to be a positive person. So when there is a problem, there is solution. Yeah. So in the pandemic, there is no solution. You need to accept it as it is. So we need to take advantage of the situation. So I try to be positive and I say, okay, let's stop running. Let's stop meeting people anyway. We cannot, which I liked it in a way. I was in my parents' place in Belgium. And I say, okay, let's go to introspection. And let's feel, because my daughter was born at that time. I really want to be a good father. So I say, okay, what is your best part? What is your worst part? Think about it and put that in your music. Complete the puzzle. I think my journey has been quite long enough. I'm middle-aged now.
No, not quite, Denis.
No. But anyway, I did a journey. A certain journey was beautiful and painful. I want to do everything I want to be completed, which I finally am.
I understand that you also put yourself in the music yourself. You compose some of the songs on the album.
Yes.
Which ones are they?
First of all, Sua's song, the first song for my daughter.
After your daughter?
Island, Sand. I arrange everything also. Some old song from Mr. Cho, the singer. Some Shibagi, the famous one, I arranged it too. I made the arrangement. And only Debussy and Satie, of course, I'm not a composer like them. So I play that too.
So it's a beautiful combination of your own and also the classics as well.
Yes.
It's a mix of music. So you are, of course, not just a wonderful guitarist, but composer, producer, and you're also kind of, I think, searching for collaborations. Even the Coast 82 group that you started. Tell us a little bit about Coast 82. Why is it Coast 82? I get the 82 because it's a country code for Korea.
But Korea is also a peninsula. It's a coast.
I see. Okay.
And I love boat, I love sailing, and I love speed, I love motorbike. So I love the wind, and the coast is perfect. And Coast 82 also, it pushes the boundary further. It's the last piece of the land.
Okay.
So in classical music, I want to explore more possibility with the guitar.
So what exactly is Coast 82 for those of our listeners who are not familiar with it?
So it's just an ensemble of strings, and sometimes I add some chongo, Korean traditional music, that I played in Europe before because Europeans love it. Even sometimes I add electronic production, but I try to keep the elegance of classical music. Okay. This is a key point. Elegance and honesty in music.
You also collaborate with some world-renowned stars like Cho Soo-mi, as I mentioned before, Kim Bum-soo and In Soon-hee. Is there anyone that you're still itching to work with? I mean, for instance, like, Inal Chi-band, they are kind of having their moment right now.
Yes,
Traditional Korean music is being kind of transformed in many, or reinterpreted in a modern or maybe even Western way as well. Is there someone that you are dying to collaborate with?
I love this, like Blackstring and all these people. They are really fantastic musicians. It's not my world. I tried before, it doesn't fit to me. It's too dark.
Yeah.
I don't want to go there anymore. But there is like young generation like Sungho Jang, the singer. She's
love her.
Fantastic.
She's fantastic.
Fantastic. I love this kind of like Kim Bom-soo people we have the what can I say, the talent. And Sungho Jang, she definitely has. And I would love to collaborate eventually with her.
She's also a songwriter, of course, and her voice, it's got that quality, I think, that kind of would connect with your music as well. And I know that you're also going to be performing live next month. That must be exciting. July 15th at Sejong Art Center. And this is 4 songs from your latest album. Can you tell us what else that we can expect? Do you have some maybe special collaborations or anything?
I will ask my very young old friend, Song Young-un, cellist, fantastic musician, to join me for 2 pieces. Defaya and Villalobos, very Latin, proud and bloody and everything. Not bloody. And also I will play for the first time a suite of 3 pieces I composed, tribute to Dan Sekwa, the famous monochrome painter like Yu Fan, Park Seo-bo and everything. So it's a very variety of pieces. But with the same deepness. There is a firework, there is elegance. Let's say firework on coast.
At the coast.
Yeah, the firework at the coast.
Kind of like the type that you would see here in Seoul and also Busan as well, which is where you're from as well, right?
Yes.
Have you been practicing a lot then? Have you been practicing throughout the pandemic? Is that like a daily thing that you do? You practice all the time?
I practice minimum 6 or 7 hours a day.
Every day?
Every day.
Even if you don't have any concerts?
Definitely.
Wow.
Definitely. It's a therapy.
Therapy. And your daughter likes it as well.
She doesn't have choice.
I do remember an earlier interview when she was still, your wife was pregnant, but she wasn't born. And she said that you would play for your child and also sing to her as well. So she's used to it. And that's kind of like a lullaby, I guess.
She loves music, yes. But I practice a lot because I respect the audience. That's the reality, actually.
Wow. After July, I know that because of an interview that you gave in 2019, you had many plans to go abroad for concerts and to collaborate with some of the artists that I mentioned, like Kim Bom-soo. You wanted to bring their music and collaborate with them to overseas fans as well. Do you think that you might bring that back once the pandemic has kind of, ebbed? Like it is getting better.
Definitely. We have a big plan, but I cannot talk about it. This thing is not confirmed yet.
I see.
But I will be in Paris in September for 2 concerts. No, there is 2, 3 or 4 concerts. I will play with a fantastic musician. And after I come back, and I will be back and forth again if I get the vaccine.
All right. We gave a question of the day every day, and today's was regarding guitars, of course, because we had you as a special guest. And we asked them what strings are used for the classical guitars, because steel strings are for acoustic and electric. So classical guitar, like the one that you have, what strings are they made of?
It's nylon.
Nylon. Well, apparently a lot of our listeners did get it right. 9469-1317-5914-0089. Also saying 요즘 기타에 푹 빠진 남편 때문에 반가운 문제네요. Happy hump day. Also PK Kang saying bravo, nylon strings have large vibrational amplitude. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And they also hurt less for fingers. 2855 saying as well. 4820 saying nylon string입니다. 그래서 소리가 그렇게 멋있나요?
감사합니다.
Have a great day. We are going to, I guess, have to Yes, we do have a song that we're going to be going out on. Of course, Uncoded is coming up next. And of course, once again, we want to remind our listeners that we have that wonderful concert by DENIS SUNGHO taking place next month, July 15th at Sejong Art Center, where you can hear all the songs from Island, as well as those special collaborations. We have a song that is by you and Coast 82. Can you tell us a little about this? It's a Piazzolla's Maria de Buenos Aires.
Yes, it's a fuga. Fuga e libera. Fuga is basically it's a classical music theme. Classical music, you have a fuga, and after you explore it. But I add some electronic. I wanted to make something fun.
Right.
So it's different. This is my two part, funny part and deep part. This is my funny part.
Yeah. So a very fun and lighthearted music to send off.
But very hard to play because it's quite fast.
Well, I'm sure, of course. Yeah, the fun ones are always harder to play, right?
Yes.
DENIS SUNGHO, thank you so much for joining us once again. It's been a real pleasure to have you in the studio to talk to you, listen to your music, and I look forward to your concert next month as well. And I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.